Yeah,
Um,
and that's the
so,
last one in the series too.
right. So, and
Yeah.
we'll pick up some new subjects coming maybe in the fall. I think, Pam, you go away for the summer, so I hope you do anyway. So thanks for coming. Yeah. So thank you for coming. We're going to start. We'll be with you probably for a little over an hour. So in case anybody needs to leave, you certainly can tell us in the chat, or we will be recording this, so you'll be able to get that on the library website. And Pam, you want to introduce yourself again, as always?
Sure. Okay, so I'm Pam Duran. I'm an education technology specialist from PNW VOCES. I'm also have an undergraduate in educational studies, and I'm currently in grad school for learning and emerging technologies, which pretty much means I'm a nerd that loves to teach nerd stuff. It's a really fancy way of saying that. And we're going to cover Facebook tonight. If you have any specific questions about Facebook, put it in the chat. I will check the chat periodically to make sure that all questions are answered. And happy Pie Day. Absolutely. In fact, I'm making a shepherd's pie for dinner. I'm rocking it hard here at over in Hillsdale, a rock throw away from the Rojan Library. So, but I see already there's some really good questions in the chat. One about removing an account from someone who's passed away. There is a very specific way to do that. I'll put that link in the chat now. That's an excellent question. This is the Facebook's information on what they need in order to either have the account deleted, or you can request that it turn into a memorial account that friends and family can still visit, but it'll be very clear that the person is now in heaven. And this is a memorial page now. So it's someone you can go and visit and see their words. So for some, that is a comfort. And for some, they'd rather it be gone. That is a personal choice. But both of those choices are available to you if you visit that link. You can see which direction is the right choice for your family and yourself. The other questions we have in the chat, let me see if there's any quick ones. I keep getting hacked. Okay, Lois, we will cover some security things that you should know and it will help you not get hacked. One will be two-factor authentication, and I'll show you how that works. It's an excellent question. Yes, the marketplace, I'll definitely go over briefly. I enjoy it. I've actually bought a few things on the marketplace local. I like it better than eBay because I'm finding all people near me and I'm getting good stuff for good prices. So, someone doing dishes. I hope it's my kitchen that they're doing the dishes in.
I think that whoever it is muted now, so I don't hear it anymore.
And then we have a question about the Facebook page. It says, can only post on mine as visitors. Okay, Howard, since very few people have the Facebook page, if you stick around at the end, we'll cover those settings with you. But that's a good question. We'll go through that with you. Okay. More is great. Have to leave by 7. Okay, we covered everything in the chat so far. I'm assuming everyone here has. Oh no, I missed one. Virginia, what did I miss? You don't have to say. I'll just look for your name. Okay. Let's see.
How's
the best way to post to multiple Facebook pages most efficiently? I use a product called Hootsuite, and I'll put the name in the chat for you. Depending on how many, I think they'll let you do up to 3 for free pages. And this is the name of the website, Hootsuite, like an owl. And it's allows you to post to not only Facebook, but Twitter, Instagram, all different places at once. So you can make one post and it aggregates your logins. And then when you make the post, it goes out, and you can even schedule your posts. So a lot of companies or businesses will use that. I know it's a paid service, but for like a small amount of, cross posting, they don't charge. But once you start going a little more, the price structure goes up. But it works very well and it's very intuitive.
Yeah. So over 3, it goes up. It's not.
I think it's over 3.
Wow.
I think it's over 3.
I do.
But check the prices. I mean, it's not horribly expensive. It really isn't. It's really designed for small business owners and not commercial or enterprise products.
Okay.
And if Hootsuite is not the product you're looking for, it doesn't work for you,
Mhm.
send me an email. I'll give me my email at the end for everyone at this, and I'll research, and the two of us will try and figure out what's the best way for you to go.
Thank you.
But off the top of my head, Hootsuite will probably meet most of your needs. And I think their prescriptions maybe $8 a month. It's not ridiculous. So not bad. Okay. So everyone here has a Facebook account, I'm going to assume. If you don't have a Facebook account, you either raise your hand or put it into the chat. I think a lot of people these days actually have one. Used to be I had to cover how to sign up. I don't think we need to. Not you. Okay, Barbara, you don't have a Facebook account yet. Anyone else?
I
So
don't
we-
either. I don't either.
Okay, Susan. So we're going to cover that very, very briefly. So I'm going to share my screen. Now, the first thing you need to know is you need to go to the website, facebook.com. Flatten this, it's on the way. So facebook.com, and I'm just going to log myself out here. Yeah. Log out. Okay. So you first come to Facebook. It's going to look like this without these pictures here. It'll just have the words add account. And if you click the word add account when you visit Facebook the first time, this is where you'll end up signing up for Facebook, or excuse me, create a new account. There was something in my way here. Hit the green button. And when you select that, you're going to fill out all of this form. They do need your either email, your real email address, or your mobile telephone number in order to sign up. So once you put your name, your last name in, your mobile or email number, you create a password here, and then fill in this information and select sign up. The next thing that will happen is you will get an email or a text message, depending on what you put here, giving you a code to verify that you're a real person. And then once you're in, you will have a blank Facebook page, and it'll walk you through the wizard of where do you want to put your name? Then it'll go to the next page, is where do you want to live? You know, what's your education? So it'll kind of walk you through step by step, slowly, how to fill it out, so that eventually the Facebook page will look like this. I am currently logged in. You can see I'm logged in over here because I have my name. My name also fits here as a create a story, and over here. So it shows that I am completely logged in. Now, Facebook has something on the front here that's called feeds. So this is all the information that you can get from your friends, and we'll go into friends. But the first thing you do with Facebook, because it's social media, is you put in what you want to say. So I'm going to say, tonight I am teaching at the Jan Library. Okay. Now, hang on a second, the smoke alarm's going off. Okay. So if I wanted to send this now to all of my friends, which is what's the default, Facebook always wants you to share everything to everyone that you know. You could click that and hit post, and this will post to all of my friends right on Facebook right now. So I have tonight I am teaching at the Jan Library. And this now has created a spot where people can share and like and add different things. Now, sometimes, and I'm going to go back and edit this post, you want to change your post. You're like, oh, I spelled something wrong. I did something I didn't want to do. Oops. These three dots over here is how you get to the spot where you can edit after posting something you didn't want. You can even trash it. If it's like, oh my gosh, I published that, I put it out. So this is the spot where you can change any of your posts. I'm going to go here to edit audience. Now, an audience is who's going to see this post. So you can choose, is this a public post that's seen by everyone? Is it only your friends? You can say all of your friends except someone. Like here, I don't have Tara seeing a post, and that's because we were planning her surprise party, and I didn't want her stuff to be seen. So under friends except, you can click there and decide who you don't want to see a certain post. I'm gonna go back to, excuse me, edit audience. Only me means it's a post that's private that only I can see. Or you can have it go to only specific people. So some posts that I do, I want only my immediate family to see. So I'll put it there. And then it even gives you more options to customize who you want to send your item to. Now I'm going to just delete this post. I'm going to pretend like I didn't want to post that. And I'm going to move it. And see, now it's dropped out of my timeline. So I'm going to make another new post. I'm still going to say, teaching at the Roe Jan Library night. Okay. Here under my name, this is where you can select your audience before you post. So you don't have to make it public before choosing your audience. Right. You can add some colorful elements over here where they have the font with the colors. If I pick that, I can choose to put a background. So here's some nice cats that I can add to my post. I can also, here at the bottom, you can pick different things to add in here. So checking in, if I click that, I can say, where am I? I'm going to say Roe Jan. Oh, it's probably the full official name, Olaf. Olaf Jansen. Whoop, I just saw it. Olaf Jansen Community Library. I can check in. So that shows everyone that not only am I teaching, I'm also at the library, and I can post. Okay, so now I have a post with cats, and I have the ability to see the check-ins. All right, now let me see if there's a question in the chat. Why would you only send a post to yourself? Is that a private message? That's a good question. Sometimes what I do is I'll put a post up that I don't necessarily want to delete, but I just want to keep it private to myself. So it may have been public at one point, and then I changed my mind and I wanted to take it down. For instance, let me stop sharing a second. I personally have lost 80 pounds. So it was a hard journey, and I have posts where I was very, very heavy and I thought I looked pretty good. But now that I'm skinnier, I kind of go, oh, can't believe I posted that. So I make it only to me, but I don't want to necessarily delete the photo because mom and dad are in the picture. So like I said, that's a very specific case of why you may want something to be just yours. But that's a reason why you would have that. Okay, so let's go back to sharing here. Okay, so that is the different ways to post. Now, anything you post goes to your friends. And to see who your friends are, you go over here to the friends. And this is where you can see the friends you have or suggested friends. So here, these are a few people that I might know. Let me see. Actually, I know Jim Perry. He's a wonderful man. He's a good saxophone player. So you can go through here, and I'm going to say I'm going to add him as my friend. And this is where you can find people to then list. So when I send a post now, anything that I post was going to go to all of my friends. This spot here, all friends, this shows the people, the 83 people who are my friends, and they see the items that are on my timeline. So this is like mostly friends and family that I have. Okay, so that's how you can decide who's going to see your posts and who's not going to see your posts. Let's see if anyone has questions right now. Let's see. Why does the background disappear after a certain amount of words? Okay, and let me go down here. Well, the background disappears after a certain amount of words because they want that watermark, that picture that goes behind the words to show up. And if their words get too dense, you can't see the cute cat or whatever they're trying to show off. So they do take the cute background away when you have too many words. So you can either reduce your post or make it into 2 different posts. Thank you, Art. Appreciate that. Or if the post isn't finished yet, you can leave it in draft too. That's true. Another good reason for leaving it as only. And you do need to fill out the birth date and the other information when you set up a Facebook account. But here's something I'm going to tell you. I'm going to take it off.
If I may, I'm going to interject, Pam, because I know that there are people who don't want to there's a lot of information that they do ask you, and you don't have to fill out all the other personal questions. You do need a birth date and you can make it up. I hate to say that.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
There are people that do that if they don't want, because sometimes you really don't want your personal information out there. And so all those questions about where you live and what's your occupation, you don't have to fill those out.
Yeah.
I think you can go forward without them, right?
Yeah. You do need to put something in those fields. Doesn't mean you have to tell the truth. So if you're not, like my own mother, her name is Valerie, but on Facebook, her first name is Catherine, her middle name, because she feels more comfortable using a different name. So if anyone wants to find her on Facebook, they have to know her Facebook, pseudonym that she created for herself. So she has Catherine, and then she has the town that she was born in as her last name. But do remember, if you do put a fake birth date in there, write it down somewhere, because if you lose access to your account, if you're hacked or anything like that, when they ask you these questions to verify you are the right person, they're going to ask you that fake birth date to verify it's really you. Yeah.
I put down a phony birthday, and then I'm getting, I was born in October, I'm getting all sorts of birthday congratulations in April. So I changed it and I put the right date, but I made myself somewhat younger.
That's
nobody's, older or younger, but the point is I didn't want to give away all that information.
Yes. That's a great tip, and that's a good thing to do. And also know, because Facebook serves you ads, if you make yourself 20 or 30 years younger, they're going to target the ads towards you. So, if you decide that, you're going to be 18 years old, expect to get boy band ads and, different things about makeup. So, but know that. And then I'll show you now, because this is a good segue. Thank you, Howard, where you can actually see the demographic information and then edit it and change it. So like for me, there's a few items that I didn't feel entirely comfortable putting out there, because as someone who works as an educator, there's not things I always want to share. So the settings for Facebook, we covered the friends, we covered the post, we covered, how these two relate to each other. But now we're going to go over to here, and we're going to go into the security settings and the fine tuning of Facebook. And let me see if this bar can get out of the way here a second. Over here, under this arrow, if I hover, it says account. And if I click on it, it gives me a menu, and I'm going to go here to settings and privacy. And if I click settings and privacy, this is where I can adjust things that people see. Right here under settings is where I can do it manually. They also have here, which if you have the time, I'd say 20, 30 minutes of your time. If you click that, it's like a wizard. It'll walk you through step by step everything that you're sharing on Facebook, and you can make intelligent decisions on what you want to save and share and what you don't want to share. But for now, we're going to go into the manual settings. Okay, so here I can see my username, my password. This here is the memorialization settings. So as we were discussing before, what to do if someone has passed away, this is almost like creating a will for your Facebook page. So if you go in here and go to edit, you can decide who has the administrative rights of your page. So for here, my sister is in charge of my legacy contact. So she can go to Facebook without doing all the paperwork and everything that was outlined in the other email, the other link that I sent you. She has like, I would, like the executrix of my Facebook page. So if God forbid something happens to me, she gets to manage my page, and Facebook will do this unquestionably without asking for all the death certificates and the other items that they request. So
Can she
that's
delete it? Can she delete your Facebook page?
not unless I'm dead. I have to not use the page, I believe it's for 6 months. And that, and then they will try and contact me for a while. And if I do not respond in a month after that, then she has the authority to take over the page. She can't just walk up to them now and say, sorry, Pam's gone, it's a memorial. If she doesn't have the death certificate, all those things, it's a way to protect your data, send your data. So you can decide if that's appropriate or not for you there. And if you leave it blank and you never put something in there, no one has access. You physically have to choose someone. They don't arbitrarily choose someone for that spot. Okay, very good question. Okay, so next here, and this is the first page it opens when I hit settings. Over here to the left, I now have the privacy setting. So if I click on privacy, here's where I can decide who can see things. So who can see all my future posts are my friends. Review all the posts and things you're tagged in. So if someone posts a picture and they've, put the @ in your username and now you're tagged and it's in your feed, that's what it means when you've been tagged in something. And I, over here, have asked to see those things before it's allowed on my feed. So by going into use activity log, you can actually adjust and see the items that you've been posted in and then decide if you want them added. So like this one was my niece. I must have missed this one. But you can go in there and decide whether it's an okay or not okay. Here, by default, when you have a Facebook account, they make everything and anything that you post is going to be public. You have to go into these areas to turn it on and make it just for certain people. If you're doing this and you're changing who can see your future posts, and see mine is set to friends now, but you have maybe a few years worth of posts that have been made public and you're just now realizing, oh my goodness, all of that was public for everyone to see. This is where you can go and change that. You go to activity, which is here under privacy in the settings, click on limit past posts, and you can decide who can see what you want to see in the past. So limit past posts, and I can decide going to limit so that only me can see my past posts, or my friends can see them. So you can change so even old posts, so you don't have to go to each and every post and change them. How to find people who can find you, who can send you friend requests, which was like the one we saw from Jim Perry, my friend, the saxophonist. The only friends of friends. By default, it'll say everyone or public. So you can change that. So only people who know of you can find you. Who can see your friends list? Who can see the list of people you're friends with? You can adjust that to only yourself or my friends of my friends or just my family. Who can look you up using the email address? I've changed that to only me. So no one can use my email address, glorypam@gmail.com, and search Facebook and have my profile pick up. Same with my phone number. Do you want your search engines outside of Facebook to link to your profile? So if you post something on your timeline, this means someone, if they're looking, say if you posted a cookie recipe and they go to Google and they say chocolate chip cookie recipe Hillsdale, your Facebook page could show up as part of those results. So one of the things we spoke about before was, I get hacked, or, change these settings here. So make this no, and change who can find you. And that will help keep away the bad guys. So I like friends of friends, if you can see my friends, this is my personal preference. And who can see the rest is only me and no. Okay. And decide whether messages go in your chats. So what we're going to do now, and I'm going to stop sharing a second. Let's see, under my Yahoo account, I'm just going to look here. This is very good. Peggy has a good suggestion that she gets requests from friends, but before accepting, she asks if they want that. And that's a good tip too, because sometimes hackers will pretend that they are your friend, or they'll have a profile look similar to your friend. So it's a good idea to get on the phone or send them an email off of Facebook. That's an excellent tip. It says, under it says, one friend says, send me a message. If I go to Facebook, I can't find the message. Where can I look for that? All right, I'll show you where that's located. Okay. So if you post a photo and want to date it, I ran into Facebook, wouldn't allow a date prior to my birth date. Wow. Well, I guess logically that does make sense, Clark. So because you weren't born yet, but let's see. Well, actually, no, if you're posting like historical one, that doesn't make sense. Want to date it. Okay, you may not be able to do that. I don't think they're considering things like you have a great picture of a farmhouse in the area from 200 years ago, and that definitely would be dated before you. So you may have to date it in like the description, but not using the date tagging. Okay, searching for people, we'll cover that. Nancy?
Yeah, I have a
And-
question. Oh, sorry, but
Sure.
I know before you showed to where you're posting from. Can you just show that again?
And then I'll also go into messages after that too.
Okay.
So let me hit share. Okay. So where you're posting from. So if we wanted to go back to our Facebook, whenever you want to go back to the main page where you're posting from, click on the F. And clicking on the F will always bring you right back to the home spot where you can post your items. So if you ever go into marketplace or groups and you can't find your way back and you keep hitting the browser back button and it's pages and pages and pages and you can't get back to this home spot, you can click the F here in Facebook, or you can hit the house on the tab. Both of those will do the same thing for you. Now, messages that you might receive in a direct message is almost like an email on Facebook. Instead of putting it on that timeline, you're sending it to just directly one person. And a lot of times you'll get an email saying you've got a new message. To get those messages, what you're going to do is over here to the far right, you have this, looks like a lightning bolt inside of a cartoon talk bubble. This is where you go to get your messages. And when you click there, your new messages will appear towards the top. So this is where you can see their messages that they've sent to you back and forth. This bell near here with a 6 on it is notifications. And if you click on that, it will show you. So like here, my friend Andrea, it loves the fact that I'm teaching at Rojan. I can see all the new activity that my friends have done or posted on their accounts. So instead of scrolling down through all of the advertisements and the stuff that might be in the feed, I can do a quick look here and say, oh, my friend Andrea. Oh, because I deleted that. She got the other one. Let's see. There we go. Jane, the knit club. So like here, I see my friend Jane is looking for cable knit hats and sport yarn. So I can leave a comment here, or I can like it, or I can write the answer for her. Unfortunately, I'm a hobby knitter. I'm not a great knitter like Jane. So we'll have to pass that on to my mother-in-law, who's actually a great knitter. She can handle that. But anyway, so that is what the bell does. And then once I click the bell, you'll see that I no longer have any new notifications listed as 6, but here I still do have a few things. Okay, so that's how you can see the items that are posted to your page. Okay. And there's a chat. Now to tag someone, which is a question that Sue has added into the chat. In order to tag someone, I'm going to tag my friend Jennifer Harrington Wilson. She's a good lady. If I wanted to tag her in the post, down here where I have this blue man, if I click tag, I can now tag Jennifer by searching for her name, and I can select Jennifer. And once I've tagged everyone, so say if I posted a picture, which I'll cover next, you can go through and tag all the people in the picture. So if it's a family picture, you can tag your friends, and then you'd hit done when you're done. And I don't want to hit done and because I haven't really said anything to her, she'd be confused. So you can do that. To add a picture to your post, down here next to the tagging is where you have photo video. And if you click on this, it'll just open up your computer and you would navigate to your pictures just like you would if you were adding a picture to an email. You'd go find your pictures. Let me see, I think I have maybe something in downloads, pictures. Let me see. Screenshots, camera roll. Let's see. Find the picture, Mike. There's a picture of my dog. Let's see. There we go. She's a cutie. Okay, and if I hit open, you'll see now. Here's that picture of my dog. And when I hit post, Cookie would go onto my feed. So you can see it. And then I could decide, my friends get to see it. Does everybody get to see Cookie? So you can go ahead and post. All right. We can close that. All right. So that is how you would tag someone in the post. Let's see. Now tagging that's another great question, Lois, is I have my feed here. This is all the things I see, but my public page over here, when I click, let me leave this here. This is what outside people see when they come and they visit my page. So you can see here's my teaching at the Rojan. This is really me being upset about the giant spiders that are about to drop from the sky. My friends thought that was funny. So I can see the things that I've posted. Now, if I tag someone, what happens is this post then shows up on their public feed as well. So anybody can see what they're tagged on. So let me see, Lara Signorini. Let me see if I can find. I think there's one here I tagged. I'll tag Jen Wilson on this one. We edit it. Edit post. So I'm going to tag Jennifer Harrington Wilson. I'm going to select done. And it said that I'm with Jennifer Harrington Wilson on the top now. And when I save it, this post now includes Jennifer. And if we visit her page, it will end up showing up here in just a little while. So it ends up cross-posting or putting it across the different areas. So that's a way when you put something in the feed, you can also make sure that that person that you're hoping sees it absolutely gets a chance to see it. Right? Okay, I hope that helped with the explanation with tagging. All right, so I'm going to go into the next part. Let me share my screen.
I said I'm
Okay.
going to do
Let's
this.
go into the Facebook Marketplace a little bit, which
Okay.
was something
Another
that
half hour, and then it's just
beginning
gonna
of
take
our
out
class
more.
I asked
You wanna
to
eat
check
now?
the marketplace and also
I'm
searching
gonna
for
eat at
people.
6:45.
The marketplace is
Wanna-
here,
I'll wait for it.
and it looks like a little house or a store. And when I click on that, it brings me to all of the items, almost like a tag sale, that's available to be bought on through Facebook in the area. So you can see things here, like this is a chest of drawers in Great Barrington. Here's a corner hutch being given away in Andover. So you can search through for different items. Let's see, bar stools. I was looking for that for my house. So you can kind of see things that are somewhat local, like these bar stools are in Germantown. And if you click on it, you can then have the option to message the person and decide and negotiate, pick up and buying the item if you wanted to. If you wanted to sell an item over here, you can select create new listing, and it'll walk you through what you have: a home for sale, a vehicle for sale, or an item for sale. And you just keep drilling through as it asks and fine tunes the questions of what you're going to be, the title of it, the price. So, and Facebook does take a small percentage of the final sale price, even if you get paid in cash. So just so you know. So sometimes if you're selling something and you're selling it for cash, don't mark it as sold. Just delete the account. So you can set availability, your minimum prices. So you can set and go through all the categories here. It's almost like Craigslist, if anyone's used Craigslist in the past. So that's where you can find items of interest in here. And some things can be shipped to you. Some stores can send you stuff. All right, so I'm going to go. I want to go back to my home, back to the main page where I post. So I'm going to go over here to the F and click. And now I'm back on Facebook. Main page. Now, if I wanted to search for a certain person, so I'm going to search for, let's see, let me look for Doug Baroni. Okay. Here's someone. Okay, so this is the guy I'm looking for. So I can go ahead and hit add friend if I wanted to do that. Or if I wasn't sure, I could click on the page and just verify that it really is him. Or if I just want to see what he's doing. So that's how you can find someone. Now, just know, like I said in the beginning, I changed my settings where I can't be found if you search for me. I have to invite you or add you as a friend myself. So sometimes if you can't find someone on Facebook using that method, it means the individual has changed their settings so they cannot be found regardless of what you do on Facebook. So there are times you can't find it. You can also search for pages. So like the Roland Jansen Library has a page. So if it's a business or a restaurant or something you want to follow, you can click on that. And you can see here, this is a page, and it shows you the nice things that are going on with Rojan. By clicking on this link, now that you found it, you can go to the main page. And you can select like, if you wanted to then have everything that the Rojan Library posts in their feed show up on your main page when you first log into Facebook. So that's how you can stay on top of what's going on at the library or certain authors or areas of interest in the area that you want to check out. So anything they post in here ends up showing up on your main reading feed. So it's a nice way to do that. So that's where you would go to search. I'm going to look at the chat a second. There's a new message. Can you create a page that isn't attached to an individual person's account? Yeah, well, no. I wish it was possible. Facebook wants to make sure that an actual living, breathing person, I'm going to stop sharing, is attached and involved to a page. They don't want anything anonymous. They want to have somebody who is an actual person who is accountable for that page in case the wheels come off and things go wrong. You can have multiple people be an owner of a page, but all have to have a verified personal Facebook account. They do have like high level commercial kind of stuff for thousands and thousands of dollars where you can bypass some of their rules. Facebook is kind of creepy that way. The more money you give them, the more rules they'll let you break. But for the rest of us who use Facebook, you do have to have it attached. So with anything important like that, like I have the Cold Spring Lions Club, I make sure that there are multiple people who are involved with owning that page, because once that person's account is either hacked or they're gone or they just disappear, they're the only ones who can touch that page and use that page. So it's good to have multiple people as administrators on a page. Excellent question, Tammy. There we go. So that was that one. Okay, let's see. So we got that question. So I'm going to go back into our Facebook. Right. So we've covered the left Jansen library. I want to go back to the main page. And I'm going to click here and bring this up. Okay. The next thing that they have here on the side on the left, which is sometimes very interesting, is their memories. So if you click on that, you can see the things that you posted 1 year ago today, or 2 years ago today, or 3 years ago today. So if I don't have any posts for today, but that's a place where you can go and see the stuff in context and see what's gone on. Okay. We're going to go back over now to the settings, to this drop down. And I'm going to go down here to display and accessibility. Here, you can change how Facebook looks for you. So maybe it's a little easier on the eyes, or it saves your battery power. If you're like, if you're in an airport and your battery is running low and you're using Facebook, there's a lot of white space on Facebook here. And the brighter your screen is, the more your battery gets drained. So you can switch to dark mode if you'd like, and you see how my Facebook now turns into a darker color. Some people find this easier on the eyes and easier to read. I'm gonna put it back off for me. Compact mode. So you can see right now, I can see things across, but if I took the compact mode on, it adjusts it and makes it a little bit tighter so that things all fit on the page. This sometimes makes the fonts a little bit too small to read. So you can decide whether or not you want to keep that on or off.
What did you hit to get to display and accessibility?
I'll show you again. We're on the main Facebook page. I'm going to go all the way over to the right, to the arrow, click down, and then in this list here is display and accessibility. So this is where you can adjust your display settings. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and I'm going to go back up to settings and privacy in the same spot. We're still on this drop down arrow here, settings and privacy. And I click on this, I can set up my news feed preferences. There we go. So here, this is where you can manage your favorites. You can snooze items, your reaction preferences, unfollow. So this is where you can control those things. So what does this mean? Let's go into the feed here and I'll show you. Sometimes you get a post that just keeps repeating itself and you don't want to see it anymore. You're kind of done with it. Sometimes these posts are political and you still want to be friends with the person, but you just want to snooze what they're saying for a while. So let's pretend like, this is my Aunt Jo. She's actually a lovely woman. We'll pretend that I'm offended by McDonald's for some reason. I'm not, but we'll pretend. We're going to go over here to those three dots. And I can go here and I can snooze Josephine for 30 days. So that means for 30 days, I will not see anything from my Aunt Jo. It'll just, if things are hot and heavy between us, or, we're not agreeing politically, whatever, and we're friends, but I don't want to really know her opinion for a little while. You can snooze them for 30 days, and then 30 days later, her posts will start showing up. Unfollow means that you can be friends and you can do all the things of messaging and talking to each other, but you won't have to see their information. So sometimes if someone keeps posting pictures of their cat over and over and over and over again, and you're a little tired of it, or they keep advertising, you can still stay their friend. They will never know that you unfollowed them. By clicking unfollow, that can kind of clean up your timeline if you feel like it's getting junked up, by someone who keeps posting whatever food they're eating. No offense, Angel. She's in London right now on vacation, eating McDonald's. Okay, so I'm going to go into the chat because there's a few questions here. Okay, so let's see. First question: what is the red 9 at the top of the menu? Okay, Barbara, we'll cover that. And what do you want to do if you want to print or forward something? Great question, Marie. We'll cover that. And would the person know if you snoozed their posts? Great question. No, they don't know they snoozed the post, just like they don't know if you've unfollowed them. So it's a gentle way of, without really, having a conflict. You can just say, I just need a break with them for a little bit. You can just unsnooze them. Okay. Now, here, the 9 on the top, these are people posting live videos. So they can turn on their camera and post a live video. So you can watch and see what your friends that you're following are doing right now. So ARPD TV is someone I follow. So you can kind of see the videos that they've posted. It kind of turns them into just videos feed, if you look at that. If I decided I loved this post by my Aunt Jo and I wanted to share it or forward it with a friend, if I go to the bottom of the post, here, where is it? Like, comment, where is it? I'm sorry, it's over here, I think. Oh, she's turned off her sharing. No, there's one here. See right here with this Outlander shell? There's a button here that says share. If it's allowed, because it looks like my Aunt Jo doesn't want her post shared, it appears there, and I can click, and I can decide if I'm going to share it in Messenger as a direct message to someone, if I want to share it to a group, if I want to share it to my page, if I want to share it to my friends, share it to a feed. So you can decide how you want to share it. And there's even more options beyond that. So you can decide. So once you do that, you put in the name of the person. So I'm going to say, share now to friends. And now my Aunt Jo's post has been shared on my timeline. And I could share it. So that's how you would go ahead to forward it. If I wanted to print this post, I would open this post by clicking in the middle of it so that the only thing that's being shown now is Aunt Jo's post and maybe some comments. And I can go over to my regular browser button, select it, and go to print, just like I was printing any web page. I select that, and you'll see that here it's now printing. I have a black and white printer, so that's why you're seeing it in black and white. You can go ahead and you can print a picture that way. It's going to have the extra stuff in there, but it will let you print that post. I cancel. So there's no functionality within the Facebook app itself. You do have to go up to your browser like you were printing a web page. Okay. If I wanted to save a photo, so like Aunt Jo's picture here, this out of the way because it's in the way of what I need to do here. If the person allows it, and it looks like Aunt Jo's is off, there's a button here that'll say download a photo. So if they allow photos to be downloaded, you can download it. Let's see. Here's a post here. Nope, this one. So it's less and less people want it downloaded. Photos can be zoomed in on here. So if you want to get a closer look at the dinosaur, you can zoom in to a point and zoom out.
Where are you doing that?
So if something's hard to see in a photo, sometimes like if you're buying something at the Facebook Marketplace, those controls is how you can zoom in or zoom out. Okay, and let's see.
Pam, how are you zooming?
And there's a new question here. Would it be possible to send a post to someone's email address or message them? Yes, you can. With a phone, you can do this. When you hit share, it gives you all the options of, sending it to Instagram, sending it to Facebook. It's the share button looks the same. The computers do not allow you to have that. But the sharing does work, and it's the same spot. It's the location at the bottom of their screen here. So you can hit share, and then you can pick. They'll give you a bigger list of places you can share to or send to. Now, just know if, it's someone's made this post only for you to see and you try and share it to someone else or someone who's not on the original posters list, it's not going to work. It's not going to let it go through. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing because we're getting kind of close to the end. And you can right click on a photo in order to save a photo. I'll show you how to do that. Clark has that trick down. It's not part of Facebook. It's part of what you do with a browser in general. So any picture that you find on the internet, you can get a copy of that way. Just know if you're going to reuse it in any kind of way, like commercially or whatever, there can be copyright infringement. So make sure it's just for your personal use or you have permission. Okay, so let's demonstrate the right clicking. Okay, so if I wanted to keep this photo, if I right click with my mouse, so I have my mouse on top of the photo, I'm going to right click, and that brings this menu up. It's not the click you'd normally do, it's the opposite one. I can go down, and in the menu, it says Save Image As. And when I click Save Image As, it lets me choose where I want to put this photo, and I can save. And now the photo is saved to my desktop, which is the location I asked it to go to. And you can see here on my desktop is now the McDonald's meal in London. I wonder if my Aunt Jo knew how popular her meal was going to be. Usually McDonald's meals are pretty ephemeral, So, okay. And you can also copy and paste it elsewhere as well. You can choose that as a copy and paste as an option, as Clark has pointed out. That works. Sometimes you do save as, though, with certain photos, it may be encrypted by the original owner to make sure it can't be reused. So if you get it and it doesn't really open, it's not you, it's not your computer. You've probably just saved a photo that has been encrypted or protected by the photographer. Can you archive all your photos from Facebook? Yes, you can get a copy of everything and anything that has ever been posted on Facebook, including your photos. They don't make it easy to find because they move the controls around. Let me just get that location at the moment. Archive. How to get a Facebook archive. And I'll put this chat in the chat too. Okay, so here. I'm going to put this in the chat. That's the link for it. And Beth, we'll save the chat. So these links, a couple links that I put in here, like the memorial page and this one, we can include in the email that we follow up with everyone. Okay. Of course, I guess it's helpful. Yeah. Okay. So here to archive your content, you go to your activity log, you click your archive, and that's where you start archiving it. You can bring it back. So here, you can go in here, and I believe it's a little different here. Settings and privacy, settings, and security and login.
We can't see what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Looks like
You're
they
not
hit it
sharing
here.
your
They made it
screen.
only for phones. They don't make it easy.
Pam, you're not
But
sharing your
that-
screen.
I will get the specific link for the PC version of getting that for you, because I don't want to waste your time watching me search, and we'll include that in the email. Now, when you do click the link to get the archive of everything you've posted, if you've had a Facebook Right, thanks, I turned off my screen a moment. Thanks, Tammy. The Facebook archive, and I will send you they moved it, they revamped it. I don't know exactly where it is, but I will send you the link in the follow-up email to this class. When you click that link, it downloads everything, every photo, every post, every friend, absolutely everything you've ever done on Facebook, including things you may have deleted, into one archive. If you've had a Facebook account for, say, over 10, 12 years, this process can take a very, very long time, and it might be a very, very large file. So if you're planning to do the archiving of all of your items that are on Facebook, expect your computer to kind of be not in use for like 2 hours or so. All right, so maybe it's something you do just before you go to bed and click the archive, and it's just clicking one link, and everything that you have just comes right down into one file. So that's a way you can archive. I've never done it myself, but they do give the option to do that. I think Facebook was sued at one point that people couldn't get their personal information off of them. But I haven't done that myself. I feel like I'm okay with leaving my stuff on Facebook, but that's my personal choice. It doesn't mean it's a right choice. Okay. It will be a zip file, Tammy, and you would use it. Yeah, it is a Barbara. Yes, it is a zipped file, and you can load it onto a thumb drive and then put it in a fireproof box if you wanted to. Just know it is a snapshot of the day you created that archive. So anything new that you start posting or adding to Facebook is not included in that. So it is a very specific snapshot of that moment when you initiated the archive. Okay. Okay, and see if there's any other questions. I think we're about 2 minutes to the end here. So if you have any more questions, please stay. I will stick around until every question is answered. If you have more questions, or also we're going to talk to Howard about his, right, thanks, Barbara. I didn't show it because I can't find it. They took away that archive where it used to be. They revamped the location of it. So I don't know where that specific archive is, but what I'm going to do, oh no, it's okay, I wasn't clear. Don't say, oh. I'm going to, with a follow-up email, I'm going to locate that link again, and it's going to be in the email you receive at the end of this class. And then it'll be a one-click thing to get all of that stuff. And let's see, another question from Virginia. When I look at my timeline, do visitors on my page see the same thing? No, depends on your settings. When you look on your timeline, you'll see everything that's made that you've posted. But if you've changed the settings in any way, you do whatever those settings are. So if I said my birth date is shown only to me, when I look at my page, I'll see my birth date. But anyone else visiting my page will just see that area as blank or missing. Next class is 2 weeks from now for Instagram, Marie, which is a question in the chat. And I really hope Rojan's doing Poetry Month. Tammy would have the answer for that one.
Yeah, if you mean the daily poetry prompts, I don't know yet. I have to talk to Jan, but we'll let you know soon.
Okay. There we go. How can I encrypt a poster? Okay, let me put my email address in the chat here. Because that one's not specific to Facebook, but I will answer that question offline if you send me an email, and I'll help you with that. So I'm not exactly sure which part of your poster you need to encrypt, but we'll do it together. And the Facebook, the pages question. So if you've had your question answered and we're at the end of our time, please feel free to drop off the call at any time. I'm not insulted. I'm still going to be here just taking care of people and finishing up questions. But thank you for coming. You're welcome to drop off at any time if you need to. Otherwise, if you want to stay, you can stay too. I just want to give you that option. All right, thank you so much. And let's go into the settings on a page. So there is a page. I'm going to go here. I manage a few pages myself too, Howard. I'm going to go to the Cold Spring Lions page here. I moved up to Hillsdale about 6 years ago, just prior to marrying my husband, who's lived here his whole life. Prior to that, I was the president of the Cold Spring Lions Club down in Putnam County. And here is where you have all the different options for managing a page. Over here, these three dots, if I click on that, this is where you can share, invite friends. Over here, this is how you can decide what to interact. Where they hide it? Hang on a second. Inbox, publishing, resources, insights, page info, settings, over here on the left. Like I said, they just recently did a new paint job on Facebook page. Go to settings. And then under settings, this is where you check your page visibility. So it could be that your page is not published yet and you need to change it. You can change what can be posted. So visitors post, you can change this from anyone can publish to the page, only you can publish to the page, which could be the setting that needs to be changed on yours. And going through on here, this is where you get all of the different restrictions and toggling that may happen. So my guess is either your page is not published or you don't have visitors allowed to publish to the page and it's only you. Or you have
Well, what I
only a
have
set
is
group of friends
Can I
publishing
s-
there. So
can
I
I say
check
something?
that setting. Okay, and then go
Pam?
through page roles here. This is relates to Tammy's question of earlier. So when you're in a page, if you go to page roles, you can see who are the people who are the admins. So the Cold Spring Lions Club, we have me as an admin and I have two other backups. So for any reason I'm unattainable, there's a couple backups here. So you would just go in and you can add a friend by putting in their name, their page will come up and you'll select add and you can have them control it. And you can even decide what level of access they have. So like myself, Diana, myself and Sylvia, we can add things, we can change things. We even have the power to delete the page if we wanted to. An editor is someone who can respond, delete, and kind of manage, but doesn't have the super abilities that could, end the world or, decide who gets to post and who doesn't post. An editor is someone who just manages. So you can even create other sections here too. Let me go into the page here a second. You're welcome, Nancy. Can't hear us, so post questions in the chat. Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. Okay, and I have some thank yous. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I have some nice messages in here. So I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, I hope that helped, Howard.